Hello, this is Trent Peterson. This is for the Advanced Applied Programming course for UDC. I'm choosing to record this instead of presenting it because I know that I will be deathly tired when I attempt to present it at 11 a.m. because I am more of a night bird. So I will be recording it ahead of time, and yeah, I feel like I can explain myself better, not under pressure. So, let's start off. Just something small that I learned. How to code in Python. I never really learned how to code in Python. There's a ton of other languages I was learning before that, so it wasn't really a hard jump. I went from, C++, HTML, JavaScript. I have knowledge of all three of those, but Python is just easy. It's built to be easy, so it was pretty easy for me to just slip into knowing those other ones relatively well. Also, it was nice having access to an intuitive website. The one that the professor provided was very comprehensive, and it was far better than C++.shell, which it's good, but it's kind of bare bones, So a more important thing I've learned was about linear regression. It's about modeling relationships between two variables by fitting linear equations to observed data. You can use predicting the value of a variable based on the value of another variable. It's right up after coalition. It's basically just following a straight line trend. You can get quick and reasonable results from it. We mostly just learned how to do it in programming, but I wasn't personally familiar with it. One thing that I did have to teach myself, and I believe the professor mentioned it a few times, I couldn't find it in any of the lecture notes, the PowerPoint slide, but maybe he mentioned it in one of the videos, I don't know. But it's about k-means clustering, the vector quantization. It's used to find groups that are not explicitly labeled in the data. It's just to confirm assumptions, like business assumptions about what types of groups exist, or just to identify unknown groups in complex data sets. I didn't even know about this. This was something I just it was just mentioned, and it was this whole rabbit hole that I learned about. So that was quite interesting. I enjoyed that. Another big thing was merge sort. This is more explicitly about programming. I learned this, I feel like I learned this last year in my data structures class. I must have forgotten about it because I had to learn it all over again for this one. But, it's just merge sort. It's not incredibly difficult. You just kind of get the hang of it once you understand how it works conceptually. So it was, here's a little example down there. Here's it applied into my code. I don't know if my mouse is actually visible. Here it is actually applied into some code I did for one of my assignments. It's a divide and conquer algorithm. It divides input array to the two halves and merges them back together after calling itself the two halves, and it uses the merge function. I should have probably been more specific with these other slides, but oh well, haha. It's a little too late for that. Here's some more miscellaneous info I learned. That's not just the big stuff. I guess Python is just learning how to code in Python isn't considered the big stuff, but this is just this is just some things I found were interesting that I've learned that are just sort of supplementary data, supplementary information that were just learned on the way. So type of data science technology that is, statistical method, machine learning, uncertainty analysis, stuff like that, and where big data actually comes from and how it's stored. I mentioned NASA storing a ton of data just based on how the Earth rotates and what we can observe from space. And I always thought about that, but I never thought about it. you know, I sound like an idiot now. These are just small things that are just used in the examples, but I thought were relatively interesting just to talk about. Oh my god, the least squares. Now this one, okay, that image down there is me when I try to learn about anything related to sum, because it just scares me. It's not really that difficult, but it just scares me half to death every time I have to see that big Greek E just farting around. It really scares me half to death. Um, yeah, but the least squares. Ooh, holy crap, that's something. Let me tell you. And do I have another slide? Okay, so this is just unrelated. This was an image. It was in one of his PowerPoints that I just found really funny. The presentation's basically over at this point. This is just an extra slide, but I found this a very funny image. Did he make this? This was like amazing. It's like three boats. It's like the same boat. I don't know, man. It's just a funny image. Very, very funny image. Thank you for this.